My name is Max, and at the start of 2025, I bought a box van. My plan is to turn this box van into a camper, something I can take on big road trips around the US, but this van isn't exactly ready to go. When I bought the van, it had a leaking roof and rotten floors. Nothing was built out on the inside. Over the past few months, I have spent a ton of time cleaning up this van, trying to turn it into a blank canvas and get it ready for a fresh build. In today's video, I want to give you guys a 6-month update. We'll talk a little bit about what I've done, I'll share how much all of this build has cost so far, and then talk about future plans. Thanks so much for tuning into this video, and I hope you guys enjoy. Before we get into everything I've done so far, let's take a trip back to the start of 2025 when I first bought the van. I found the van listed on Facebook Marketplace and it was rough. The first thing I remember when I stepped inside was the smell. Musty, damp, dark. Those were the first words that came to mind when I saw this van for the first time. The roof had been leaking for quite a while, water was dripping onto the floor, and the wood floors were starting to rot. The walls were stained and dirty from its past life of being a contractor's vehicle, and it felt like it had been abandoned for years. I still remember that feeling of handing over the cash, starting up the van, and leaving the driveway, feeling like I had made a big mistake. After a few weeks, I started to process the decision I had made and shifted my focus from feeling overwhelmed to getting started on the build. Before doing anything on the inside of the van, I knew I had to fix the water leaks. To me, there was no point in building out anything on the inside if it was just going to get damaged from the water again. It took a few tries, a few failures, and a lot of scraping with a putty knife, but I finally got the roof resealed. To be honest, I'm still not 100% confident that the roof is leak-free, mainly because I haven't really driven it through a super hard rainstorm yet, but I guess time will tell. Once the roof was cleaned and resealed, I moved on to the next big problem, and that was the rotten floors. There was just no way that I was going to invest so much of my time and money into this build, knowing that the floors or the foundation was slowly rotting out underneath me. So I ripped everything out. This added a ton of work, but I'm so glad I did it. While the floors were out, I took advantage of the open frame and I added an RV door along with an entrance step. Having that additional entrance in and out of the van has been one of my favorite parts of this build so far, and I'm so glad I took the time to add that additional entrance. A few weeks later, I decided I wasn't really a big fan of the open floor plan and got started building an entirely new subfloor. Now this is just going to be a quick overview, but if you're interested in seeing more about how I built and did some of these modifications, I have more videos on my channel going a lot more in depth, so definitely go check those out if you're interested. The new subfloor took a ton of time and a ton of planning, but it's now fully insulated and sealed with an RV underbelly, and I'm so excited about how it turned out. With the new subfloor built, I moved on to tackling the back roll-up door. Part of me considered keeping this roll-up door. It kept the van super stealthy and in theory sounded super nice to have some open air on warm summer nights camping. But it also rattled like crazy. It took up a ton of space on the ceiling and it just didn't seal well at all. So just like I did with the original subfloor, I took everything off, cut out all of the track systems and built an entirely new back wall. I didn't get the back wall right the first time. There were a few versions, a lot of mistakes, and even more learning. But after a few weeks of planning, working, and updating, I finally got the back wall to a point where I'm super happy with it. And that leads me right up to today. We're finally getting closer to the point that I was so excited for from the beginning. At the end of the day, it's still an old van, but it's been freshened up and now we have a blank canvas full of potential. Now let's talk about something I have been getting a ton of questions about, and that's how much this build has cost so far. But first, 2 quick notes before we dive in. First of all, this is a rough estimate. I haven't done a great job of tracking all of the expenses with this build so far, but I do know that this estimate is pretty close. And second of all, I'm not going to include the cost of tools into the expenses. So what you'll see here is just the cost for materials and parts, not the gear like welders, clamps, or power tools. But trust me, if I added in all of those tools, the total cost would probably be close to double. Every YouTube video I've made with the van build has felt like its own little project, And that's exactly how I'm going to break down these expenses today, is by each little category. First, let's start with resealing the roof, and there wasn't much to this. The main things were Sikaflex, and if you're not familiar with this, it's just a type of sealant. And then the most expensive item here was the RV roof coating I used and the primer that came with it. All in, the roof reseal cost me just around $200. Next was the RV door and custom step, and I really got lucky with this door here because I actually found it on Facebook Marketplace for 300 bucks. When you buy these doors online, they usually come with pretty high shipping costs that can raise the price to $700 or $800. Hardware, butyl tape, and door trim cost me about $50, and then I spent another $45 or so on angle iron for building the custom step. And that brings the total for the door and custom step to around 450 bucks. Now keep in mind, just to do this install, I also had to buy a ton of tools. I had to buy a welder, welding wire, clamps, a jigsaw blades, the list goes on, and you guys can imagine how fast the cost starts to increase once you include tools. Next was the subfloor, and I spent about $300 on plywood and installation, $40 on an RV underbelly, and then another $50 on miscellaneous items like rust reformer and hardware. And all of that brings the grand total for the subfloor to around $400. The first version of the back wall is where things started to get more expensive. For version 1, I spent about $200 on plywood and lumber, $100 on the window, $150 on paints, primers, and sealants, and another $45 on trim. But the surprisingly expensive part to this back wall was the hardware. Bolts and screws, riv nuts, struts, and hinges, all of this hardware added up to around $300. And all of that brings the total for the first version of back wall to $800. That was a lot more than I was planning on spending. The second version of back wall focused mainly on protecting the plywood, and that was not cheap either. I spent $300 on ACM panels, and quick side note, this does include a full 4x8 backup sheet. I drove so far to pick up these panels, I wanted to be prepared in case I messed one up. I spent $115 on metal RV trim, $20 on a couple things of Sikaflex, $50 on tapes like butyl tape and 3M tape, $35 on hardware, and another $150 on the RV compartment door. So the total for the upgraded wall, about $700. So if we add everything up for the van build so far, we're looking at about $2,500. I know that does sound like a lot, but I also feel like I've done a lot to the van. Compared to the first day when we drove it home, this van is completely different than when we got it. And I'm okay investing this type of money into something I'm so passionate about. Something that's been a long time dream of mine, and something that's finally coming together. So what's next with the van build? Well, honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I know that I want to add a gray water tank and maybe a diesel tank too, but beyond that, I'm not really sure. Interior layout and design, electrical and solar, insulation and plumbing are just a few of the things I still need to do. And lately, I've just been trying to figure out the order to do these things. Should I install electrical before putting up the walls? Should I run heater lines and plumbing while the floor is still open? And how do I actually want this space to look and feel when it's done? Right now, I'd say I'm entering the planning phase, starting to map out the interior design and really dialing in the layout. I've got a general vision in my head, but no exact measurements, not yet anyway. But even with so much ahead of me, it's so exciting to finally feel like I have a space I can start a build in. Have I made as much progress as I thought? Maybe, maybe not. Honestly, I have no idea. I've never built a van before and I don't really know what to expect, and that makes it hard to set timelines or goals. But what I do know is that I'm proud of where the van is today, and I'm proud of myself for taking on this massive challenge. I still feel overwhelmed looking ahead at everything that's to come, but I'm trying my best to just focus on the next thing in front of me and take it one small step at a time. And with enough small steps, hopefully we can build something pretty cool. If there's one thing I've learned with this build so far, it's that you don't have to have it all figured out to get started. It's okay to not know what you're doing. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail and try again. Because honestly, messing up and failing is exactly how you figure it out. I can't say thank you enough to all of you guys who watch my videos and support the channel. I'm seriously so grateful for each and every one of you guys, and I wouldn't be where I am today without your guys' support. If you want to see where the box van build goes, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It's a completely free way to help support my channel and the van build. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.